Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. So I hope you're fine wherever you are. This is Eugene from Kenya. Recently, cases of Black American women being poisoned, Black American women being threatened has been surfacing across the internet. I think I saw this, and at some point I was like, okay, this is happening again in Gambia. There was a video that I did about Gambia around 4 months ago, and some people are never happy about it. But again, we're having another issue which is happening in Gambia. Women, especially, are the most targeted people who are in Gambia. So, brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video. These are two different videos. There is a woman who talks in the video. I don't know if she's the one who has died. My only worry is this. We are putting our African American women, especially, to the problem. Also, first-hand advice that I will give even before watching the video: please, if you're planning to move to Gambia, again I'll say this, African American, Black American, don't move to Gambia alone, especially when you're a woman. Now let's dive and watch this video, and later on come and say something. I also took some comments from where people commented, and the world is not happy about the issue which is happening in the Gambia. I'm going to share with you a couple of comments that the world shared about this issue.
I hope everyone is well. I am checking in for the latest update. It is referring to the fact that there have been multiple marabou attempts on my life. So I happened to go to the mall and I said, let me order a meal from, I'm not going to eat from the local places because I believe they're all in on it. Like they've made a deal that if you give her that little special seasoning, you'll get a cut of whatever is going to be distributed. So even though people are nice and smile in your face, they will poison you. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go down the way a little bit to this place that is American owned, and hopefully I won't have any issues there. Now the strange thing was, look how spirit worked. This young boy comes out of nowhere, and the young boy sits down to eat, very tall. He sits down to eat and he says, you know, this food is so good. He had like chicken curry. He said, this is so good. And he looked me straight in my eye and he said, Gambians don't use curry. I'm like, okay, but you know, maybe they're trying something different. I said, but it's not a Gambian lady cooking. It's a Nigerian woman cooking. He said it again. Gambians don't use curry. And he said it slow. And I'm like, you're right, they don't use curry. I said, but you know, like I said, the Nigerian woman is cooking, but maybe she is the one using the curry. He said, curry is not an African thing. It is an Indian thing. I said, okay. So the brother eats his food and he leaves. So I get home and I go to eat this samosa. And like I said, I see energy on things. And I don't think people believe me when I say that. Let me tell you how two of the samosa seemed like they were okay. But that third and fourth one was wrapped differently. It had a wicked face on it. And the other one had a marking of like someone throwing up. And I said, I know somebody didn't tamper with my food. I go to the curry. The curry is so hot, you can't even eat it. Now, that's the way to hide a poison, right? Because I know I told this lady I don't eat pepper. I said, okay, so I know I'm not going to eat that. I smell the rice, and I smell chemicals on the rice. Yes, I have hypersensitivity to hearing, to smelling, to tasting, okay? So I said, I'm going to take this food back. And since I thought it was a setup already, I didn't go back the next day. I went back the following day. And when I came back the following day, the husband, he's coming out to leave. So I have the food and I go to hand it to him. He's like, what's this? I said, it's the food from the other day. He said, well, just throw it away. I looked at him. Oh, you want me to throw it away? So he takes it, he throws it away. And I said, so what happened? He said, what do you mean? I said, what did you do with your employees that poisoned my food? What do you mean? Did you fire them? Well, I can't just fire them on one person's word. I said, wow. I didn't say another word. I walked past him. I sat down to charge up my devices, and I knew in that moment all of them was a part of it. All of them is a part of it. And it just coincidentally happened to be that the wife was leaving to go back to the States the next day. Because all this wicked stuff they doing to diasporans, killing us on the continent, people showing up dead and nobody know what happened. God, Allah, does not approve of this. And that's why I'm here. But they're going to catch on soon. Because every time somebody do something to me, believe I say a special prayer for them.
Now, when I was watching that video, I kind of felt like as though she was being paranoid. You know, she's being paranoid in that video. She's taking stuff that hasn't happened and making it mean that something bad's gonna happen. And so that's not the way to be. You know, you gotta be a little bit more calm about how you interact with people and how you're viewing people. Don't keep looking out for the worst. Funny enough, in that last video I did about the 3 sisters who had passed away previously, so there have been 3 sisters who have passed away, age ranging from, like, you know, mid-60s to mid-50s, had all passed away in the Gambia, in an area called the Combo region, South Combo region. So you got Gambia, the smallest country on this mainland continent. And within the Gambia, you've got an area called the Combos. And in the south of the Combos is where you'll find most of the visitors within the Gambia. And those of us who want to live over here. So it's a very small area with a very, very small population. And 3 sisters have died. Now, in my last video, I was saying that to me is a pattern, you know. 1 is sad, 2 is tragic, 3 is a pattern. And I got so much pushback from people saying, yo, you're being paranoid, why are you just looking for the worst possible outcome? It's not so bad, you don't know everything, you're making a lot of this stuff up. Yeah, sure. So I reached out to Sister Andrea this afternoon, saying to her, look, I hear you're not doing well. How is everything? How are you doing? You know, what can I do to help? In fact, I'll put a post up. I'll show you what I wrote on there. I got no reply from my sister. But what I did see on Facebook, I got confirmation today she passed away last night. So there I am, thinking that sister is being paranoid, while at the same time other people are telling me that I'm being paranoid because I'm seeing a pattern for the last 3 sisters that passed away. Now we've got 4 sisters have died in a small area of the South Combo of the smallest country on this flipping continent. And somehow I'm the one that needs to be quiet. No, that can't be. You know, people are telling me, in the last video I said, sisters from the States, from what I understand, that if you have a firearms license in the States, then you are licensed to carry a firearm over here in the Gambia. That's what I've been told. I don't know how true that is. But from what I understand, many of our American brothers and sisters are packing. So, I'm getting, are you crazy? How can you be telling people to do that? I'm not telling people to do anything. But what I'm saying is, don't come over here thinking that everything is fine. Don't come over thinking that the love and affinity that we have for Mama Africa stretches to the local people here in Africa. You know, they haven't had the same education as we've had. They haven't had the same media that we've had. If the only media that we got about Africa was from the mainstream, you know, it would be Africans are all eating other human beings. We would hear that there's no food on the continent. Like, this place is tropical. There's food falling out of the sky, literally. But the mainstream media will tell you that there's no food here, that people are starving hungry, that babies are all walking around with distended bellies and flies flying around their eyes. That's what the mainstream media told us. But what we was learning from others, people who have been here to the continent, is that you can find a great level of love and camaraderie with people here. You can create for yourself a lovely level of living here. There's things that can be done here. So there's many of us who want the best for Africa and want the best for ourselves living in Africa. But the media that is pumped over here about us from the West is very different to the media that is pumped over here about European people. So European people, you know, they're Tarzan, they're swinging from the trees and they're talking to the animals, while black people can't do that. You know, European people, they're at the forefront of technology. Like, if you need an iPhone, you need to get it from the West. Not understanding that many of the engineers who are building designing those iPhones are black people. The modern mainstream media over here in the Gambia is, you know, you need the Arnold Schwarzenegger to come and save you. You need James Bond to come and save you. You know, that's the kind of thing. Whereas black people, we're all shooting each other and we're all stabbing each other. You know, we're just dangerous. So the love that we have coming over here isn't reciprocated, because what people are being told is that we're not like them. There's already a barrier. Yeah, there's a problem here. There really is. And I know, people have told me as well, I should stop talking about this because I'm going to persuade people not to come to Africa. And I apologize if your business is being affected by me telling the truth on this video, but I'm going to tell the truth. I am. Look, what many sisters have told me is that there is a level of respect and people giving you your space if it's known that you are married, that you have a husband, that you have someone that is male who owns you. I sound quite crass, and I know that I want to get pushback. No, that's not true. I'm just telling you what I've been told, okay? So if you don't agree with it, keep it to yourself, because no one cares anymore. I'm only talking about how sisters can stay safe. Do what they need to do and stay safe. I'm not saying don't come over here, because that is not my job. Come over if you want to come over. Please be safe while you do it. Tactics that I've heard is let it be known that you're here with a man, you're here with a brother, if you're coming here and you don't have a brother, then find one. There's ways and means. Do it, man. I'm just so tired. And rise in power to Sister Andrea. And she had a shop called Waste Not, Want Not, where people could bring in the stuff that they no longer wanted in order for her to resell on to other people who wanted that. It was like on the main highway, big old shop she had. So she was doing things over here in the Gambia. And I wish her well on her onward journey.
I understand that this is a messed up situation which keeps on happening, and it is not happy that it is happening to our brothers and sisters. And again, I'll say this. Please, if you're a Black American, if you're African American coming to Africa, especially when you're an African, Africa has 54 countries. Before coming to Africa, kindly do your research. How are people dealing with the other people? How are people welcoming? What are the instances of fights between the diasporans? What are the cases of fatalities which are happening in those countries? Please don't just come to the country without doing research. Please. I'll also advise you not to come to Africa alone, especially when you are an African American woman. A woman is so vulnerable, and you don't need to travel yourself. Traveling yourself puts you into jeopardy. I think you've seen those couple of videos at the same place in Gambia where African American women were robbed their things. Some people talked bad about it. Why did they walk with their women? What are they doing with their men? Sorry. What are they doing outside there alone? And so I tend to ask myself this question: is an African society safe for women in general? That's a question that I would like to pose. But now I'll say this again and again. If you have to go to Gambia, if you have to stay in Gambia, please, and it has been said so many times, please stay in gated community. The issue of poisoning is something that I've been hearing so much more going in the Gambia. The issue of poisoning African Americans in Africa, especially in Gambia. This is something that I've been hearing going on and on. And now I want to take this chance to tell you that if you can live in a private community, please don't just go in an open place where people will just come, people will see everything which is happening to you. Some 2 years later, there was an issue of land in Gambia where Africans and African Americans in Gambia there were some issues to do with land where the natives were complaining that African Americans are taking their land. Another question that I would love to ask: why is this not happening with other tourists like white people, Indians, or Asians who are coming to these places, like Chinese who are coming to these places? Why are these instances only happening to African women, African American women, our own people, fighting against our own people? But for what? For jealousy. Something which is not good. I'll say this. I know, because listening to the story, the guy told the woman that he need to throw the samosas, when she asked, why have you thrown it, and then he said that I've thrown it. It means that we have good people in the Gambia, but I don't know why these jealousy things always go on. Because even amongst ourselves, we Africans, sometimes we are the enemies of our progress. In the past, people went to the witch doctors, and that's why somebody will say, if you're having a fortune, kindly keep it private so that people don't know, because the moment the evil eyes see it, that's when they'll jump on it. It's about that time people say that not all black folks are of the same kin. Not all black folks are kin. It means that not everyone looks like you, wants good for you. Some people don't just want good for you. Some people, your success will be a problem to them. Some people will feel bad when you become successful in doing some things. So it is a sad thing which is happening in the Gambia, and now I have to tell you it in the most ugly way I can, so that our African American brothers and sisters who are planning to come to the motherland to know, at least to know, if not all, if it's not all the part, if it's not all parts of Gambia which is this is happening, to know the specific places that they can go. Again, I'll say this: Africa has 54 countries. Before coming to Africa, kindly look at different countries, the advantages and disadvantages they have. I could speak for my country, Kenya, Nairobi. Nairobi is more adaptable for the African Americans, especially in the cities. We also embrace the Black American culture at some point, and which makes it easier for them to stay with us. And also we are also welcoming, and in general I believe that all Africans are welcoming, and they should be welcoming, because this is the motherland for Black Americans or African Americans. But now we have, just like any other society, we have those few people who always have problem. We know very well when Black Americans or African Americans come to Africa, one, they are the solution of our problems. We need to unite, we as Black people. We don't need to see each other as competitors. We don't need to see each other as enemies, because the moment that we see each other as enemies, we won't grow, and we will remain a laughing stock to the enemies, to those people who don't want us to progress. You know, I don't know which doctrine some of us, we Black people, went to, because we also kill ourselves amongst ourselves. A brother kills a brother because of lands. Material things. Why would we lynch our brothers and sisters because of these material things? All these things are vanity. Let your brothers and sisters come back home to Africa, so that we work together, so that we develop Africa together as one people. But when we start fighting, African Americans will be afraid, and we are looking into African Americans. They are our brothers and sisters, and they need to come back to Africa. That's something which we should not be having a problems. And even if you at an individual level you have a problem with the Black American or African American in the part of African country that you are, find legal ways. Even if they've wronged you, find legal ways. But going to an inhuman level, poisoning somebody because you're jealous of them, I don't know what's wrong. Is it that maybe they're setting up businesses in places where you sell things? I don't know. Africans, we can do better than what is happening. What's happening in Gambia, it's not good. I'm calling out all those people. I know not everyone does this in Gambia, but I'm calling out all those people who have these habits of not wanting development. And the problem that most of our societies in Africa today, in African countries today, we won't develop is because of jealousy. The moment something good starts happening surrounding an African place, that's when people are start eyeing on it. Oh, this is happening, and even the evil eye. We have the evil eye. We have people, the enemies of progress. They're always there in any place. So let's be vigilant. We can do better than this. Let's not poison our brothers and sisters. But now I'll read you the comments of how the world reacted on this issue which happened in the Gambia. Let's stay tuned. And this is your boy Eugene from Kenya. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Let's hear the comments about what people said about this issue. Salute.